What precisely can make a compelling paleo diet program formula? Unquestionably, the most significant guideline would be that it clings to the ideas of the paleo diet. The following guideline is that it should taste great. The third and last standard is that it must be basic and simple to make. The rule of the paleo diet, which you may or probably won't be at this point educated about, is the prior of grains and sugars, and any cultivating items that our predecessors didn't have availability to. This limits the quantity of conceivable outcomes to some degree, given that we're not ready to utilize any pasta, flour, bread, or spuds. Yowzer, that is a lot of my top choices. The basic truth is, you can't trade these kinds of boring products well, so don't pursue right now. We will make suppers that comprise of a protein, and a wealth of veggies. The advantage to annihilating the boring starches is simply the way that worried about solely expending low-fat segments of creature items is not, at this point, required. To start, we have to choose a protein source, primarily meat, fish, or eggs. For meats, ideally you ought to pick grass-fed hamburger, poultry, or wild game. For fish, you need to stay with the greasy assortment and preferably wild. There are different methodologies to cook a meat, yet when the climate is pleasant, why not barbecue? In case you're making food inside, you will require some sort of cooking fat. There are many cooking fats you're ready to use along the lines of oils, fat, margarine, ghee, and even put away bacon fat. A couple of oils that cling appropriately to the nutritionary requests of any paleo eater are coconut oil, certifiable, not refined, and olive oil. These oils typically are worthy for sautéing, and coconut can be used at high temperatures, yet grease could be a superior other option. Margarine should, assuming there is any chance of this happening, be of the grass took care of type, identifying with the improved measure of omega-3 and omega-6 fats. With respect to a steak, keep it straightforward. You can make a paleo-accommodating marinade and permit the steak to absorb it for 24 to 48 hours max first. At the point when it's dinner, essentially place some fat, I favor spread, in the skillet and throw a touch of flavor onto the steak. Montreal steak is acceptable, and do several minutes on each side. For fish, I for the most part cook it in the stove with some new lemon juice, garlic clove, and margarine. There are many plans you can make with chicken, however flame broiling it with a pleasant grill rub for the most part appears to function admirably. That is one piece. Presently we must do the vegetables. You can adhere to the unsurpassed norm, the plate of mixed greens, or pick a more cooked assortment. In the late spring I regularly choose a plate of mixed greens. When it gets cold out I'll cook a few veggies on the oven. Green beans and asparagus are two of my top choices since you can fix them simply like a bit of meat on the oven, with a smidgen of oil and zest. Asparagus likewise functions admirably on the barbecue, alongside ringer peppers.